¿Me oyes? ¿Me oyes?
Okay, welcome everybody. There are still a few seats available, so anybody wants to have a seat, please go ahead. Thank you all very much for coming this very special evening. Very glad you're here. Thank you for your interest in the Bonaire freediving event. First of all, I want to congratulate Patrick and Karol for the amazing achievement that they did this week. Perfect, excellent, very well done. I think it deserves a round of applause. Of course, this event wouldn't have been possible without a few sponsors. Except for Body Dive, I want to thank Inselair, I want to thank Tourism Corporation Bonaire, I want to thank Advanced Fishes. I also want to thank Marmai, Sector 1, and Brazil Magulo and DecoStop. Thank you. Now I want to give the word to Patrick. He's going to explain you a little bit about the event, and well, enjoy.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Marcel. Thank you for being here. Thank you to Body Dive and Bonaire to host us on this great event. Well, let me tell you a bit about what we've done before that. We will try to entertain you with a video of this event, of what it has been. We won't show you how difficult it was. We'll show you the result, which is the most important thing. But as in any achievement, you can imagine that it has not been always easy. We've been dealing with a lot of things. We've been dealing with sea conditions, weather, human, logistics, and we've passed all these barriers and we've made it possible. One word about the Tandem No Limit record. This record is standing there for 9 years. It's been 9 years that Pipin Ferreiras, a Cuban diver, and his wife, Audrey Mesh, set this record. So you can imagine how difficult it has been and how the challenge was to have two people living in different continents. I'm living in Belgium and she, as you know, she's living in Brazil. How it has been difficult to pull out this event, to try to prepare ourselves and succeed to have this dive happening. So we did, you'll see the past record was 115 meters. We've pushed it to 121 meters. By this mark, we are glad to have not only surpassed the mixed tandem records, so men and women, but also the man and man. So the man and man the record was 118 meters. So we passed beyond that. So we can be proud of that. I will not talk too long because I want also to give the word to Karol, who's dying to talk, I'm sure. Just a quick explanation for those who don't know me, and Karol will introduce herself, is that for me, I think some people in the audience know, everything started here. Everything started in Bonaire for me. In 1998, I was here with my wife. We didn't have our child at that time, and I wanted to be a scuba instructor. I came on the island not knowing anything about diving. I came here, it was the first time that I was facing a blue sea, not only the Caribbean. I never had the opportunity to be in front, to go on holiday and dive in the sea. So I remember it's a small beach over there on the island that I was there. I jumped in the water, and suddenly I come out of the water and I spit and I yell, and my wife looked at me and said, "What's going on?" And And I said, well, this water. And she said, what about the water? And I said, this water is disgusting. And she looked at me puzzled, and she said, what's going on? Well, and I said, it's salty. And she looks at me, and by the look of her eyes, I understand that, well, it's supposed to be normal that the sea is salty. So, well, you can imagine, I was 27 at the time, and believe me or not, I did some university, I did some studies, but didn't know that the sea was salty at the time. So, you can imagine I'm now 39 years old. 1 year after I was breaking 2 world records in freediving. I didn't know at the time that was my past, but my career made it clear that this was meant for me and it was meant to be. I'm glad to be here back in Bonaire, closing the circle of kind of circle of life. The circle keeps going. There are more projects going on, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you.
Hi everyone. So I would like to thank you to Patrick and mainly also to Buddy Dive Resort. It's my 30th time that I'm here, and the first time when I was here I was only to do scuba diving. I did not start free diving like a competitor, and then last year my friend from Desktop magazine, he for a lot of years he was trying to invite me to be back to Bonaire, but now to free diving. Then for the last 2 years he still tried to invite me, and then I said okay, and hopefully he gave me the email from Augusto, and then I will start to write to him and organize something with Buddy Dive Resort, and finally with Yasmin I found the other support to be here last year, and also Musimu like my coach, and now I'm really glad also because he invited me to be part of another challenge that was this record that we did here. And what I can say now is thank you so much, and I would like to be back each year. Thank you. For sure.
You understand why I chose a female instead of a man to sit next to me? Okay. I think if you have any question before we go and entertain ourselves with a good cocktail and good drink and a good video, now is the time.
Yeah.
If you have any questions.
What is the feeling down there?
Good question, but you can stand next to me so that you can answer as well. The feeling is a bit it's difficult to describe in few words, but you just have to imagine that there's no pain, and you'll see something weird on the video. There's no pain, and it's still fun. It still can be fun. You have to know that at certain part of the dive, at certain depth, our bodies function differently, like on the surface. For example, we don't have the only 2 organs which survive or receive blood are the heart and the brain. The total body is shut down. So you can imagine that having the circulation, the blood going only from the brain to the heart, lots of things happen in the body, and lots of things also awake in the brain. So you see things, you feel things, and you're part of something. You're part of something which is greater than us. And I think that's why lots of freediver or deep freediver try to go deeper and deeper.
How's the training for such thing like this, such dive?
Okay, I'll talk for myself, and then I'll let Karol answer for her part. Well, I live in Brussels, so the particular thing about my preparation is that I do not prepare underwater. I don't prepare in the swimming pool, I don't prepare in the sea. I come when my body is ready and my mental is ready to perform something. So here, I didn't have much time to prepare, a lot of things to do. And if I barely had a chance to go one day in the week in the gym, it was good. So this was my preparation. A lot of mental and a lot of email with Karol, I think.
I felt really with a lot of responsibility to go down with him. So I live in an island, but the water is not like here, brighter and warmer, and sometimes I just have a chance to dive during the weekend. So my training was mainly outside the water, and the most important for me during this year was the support of Patrick, but only by email. So when we arrived here, with all the equipment and the cameras that he bring to here, we could realize that I was doing some mistakes. So I took at least 3 days, and it was really difficult to try to surpass my mistakes that I did during the year. So I have only, I think it's 72 hours to change a little bit more, and then I'm really happy to surpass this problem and did the record. So I know that now I will try to improve, but training better and better.
How feel the change of the temperature in the water?
The temperature, I feel so concentrated that I don't feel any difference of temperature, or I just feel good. When you are not concentrated, you can't accept to surpass the pressure or everything around you, even without outside water. So if you feel good, you can accept the pressure outside or underwater.
I have a question. What is the relation, mental and physical relation in free diving? I mean, does it require more physical strength or more mental strength when it comes to records or to overcome fears?
All the time I don't feel fear. My fear is if I can do the record. That's my fear sometimes. But I try to put myself in a comfort position. I try to really be strong in my mind, and I never feel fear to go deep. But I don't like to do any mistake. I'm fear about it, but not to go deep. It's different.
I'll jump on that one because I like it.
The reason why I'm asking this question is because I do sports, and I concentrate more in the physical part, and I wonder what is the relation when it comes, because I know free diving has a lot to do with mental strength. So I basically try to relate these two things, see which one requires more training, basically physical strength or more mental strength.
May I ask you which kind of sport you do?
Well, I used to be a fitness trainer, and now I'm more into cycling, yes.
So yes, indeed, there's a balance. There are different disciplines in freediving, but in terms of depth, there's a switch, there's a turning point where the mental becomes more important than the physical. So it's like Karol said, there's a lot of technique also. When you have to go down, there's a lot of technique. You see it just dropping. There's so many things that you have to control, so many tiny muscles in your skulls and your throat that you have to control, so that you can go that fast, that deep. We will see that we both using different techniques to equalize. So equalizing the pressure, you probably know what it means. Pressure increase when we go down. We have to clear our ears and sinus. So Karol is using air, so she will wear a nose clip, and I, at some part of the dive, I remove my hands from my nose, meaning that I'll let the sea flood inside my nostrils and flood the sinus and the middle ears. So the sea is equalizing for me, and I'm kind of balanced with the sea. The deeper I go, the more balanced I am. So those are all the techniques that you have to master and prepare, that's for sure. But mentally, the preparation is from the dream of this tandem to the end of the tandem, the record. You don't stop thinking. So your mental is always going through everything, every details.
What's the difference between apnea and freediving?
It's the same thing. It's just the word is different. Breath holding, breath hold diving, freediving, apnea.
You were talking about freediving and deep freediving. Is that a question of the distance that you go down, the difference?
Yes, I believe that you have to make the distinction between extreme diving, like we do, really deep records, and the normal freediving. Normal freediving, I mean, look at your kids and you'll see that they like go inside the water, they don't know much about it, but they just grab a corner in the swimming pool. Or you have a regular diver and just enjoy being on 5 meters. I believe that you are a free diver not when you can go deep, or not when you can hold your breath for long, but just because at a certain point you don't even think that you're holding your breath when you go underwater. And that when you switch and you're on that level, you're a free diver, according to me.
You have your status now. How would you use that status to your benefit and to the benefit of others?
Well, I have my motto, which is nothing is absolute. Redefine concepts, redefine yourself, and accept no limits. Barriers are in your mind. So this is the thing that I try to put forward. It's not that I can break a record, that Karol can break a record, that we're mutant. We're just human, and we have a goal, and we do everything in our power to achieve this goal. And this is when we communicate our record, or the preparation of our record, this is the most important thing that we try to put forward.
When you get the status, other times people either misuse it or they don't know how to use it. Some use it to their advantage to do other things. How would you proceed with this?
I'm not sure I understand your question.
You have a fame now that is beyond imagination.
Okay.
How will you use this to change other people's lives in this way?
Well, this is basically what I do for living. I do talks in company, and I try to motivate just by sharing a bit of my experience and also showing from where I'm coming from. And this proves, I think, that nothing is impossible. When I remember that I cannot forget that I'm coming from Kinshasa. I was born in Kinshasa, and I've lived in a shelter town. So I know what it is not to have food on your table, not to have milk on your table. So when difficult moment comes and I look beyond me and I say, well, you've done great, and you just move, keep moving.
You have a new record. Do you have another pressure now that you need to either break it, or you wonder if somebody's going to break it, and how will it all work with you?
Well, figures are just there to be broken. So if you're not prepared for that, then don't do any record. I think that the most important thing is everything for me, at least, starts with a dream. I have an emotion, I have this wake-up call saying, well, this would be interesting to do. There are emotions, there are feelings, there are sensations that you can grab from this. So will I do another tandem deeper? I don't know yet. I just have to debrief what I've done, what I've felt, what we've been through, and see if the emotion is still there. I have another project for the type of dive, so I'm still moving.
Yeah, can you please say something with the triple quest? Could you expand a little bit on that? Because I understand there's a lot of different divings. I also understood that you went down to, 207 meters? Could you tell me, and I see No Limit over there, could you elaborate a little bit on that triple quest also there?
Well, the No Limit triple quest is an idea of bringing the modality of No Limit. No Limit being a free diver goes down with a weight, and come back helped by a device like the balloon or being pulled. And I'm taking this No Limit in the 3 different forms, which is the tandem that we've just done, the traditional being like the pearl hunters, used to do. They didn't have any fins, no mass, and they were hooking their feet on the rope. And the crew, the seaman crew, were just dropping them like an anchor to the bottom. They had to collect the oysters, and then by a signal, then the seaman crew had to pull them up. And I will try to bring that beyond 130 meters. So it's a total different thing. And then No Limit Absolute is where, of course, the 209 meters, and try to see if there are still emotions to get from there. Yeah. And well, the diving operation, if Augusto wants to say a word of how difficult it is to support such type of dive and what they feel when they're down there, because they're down there and they have to save us if anything happens. I think it would be interesting to have their point of view.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, good evening everybody. My name is Augusto Monbrun. I represent Body Dive Resort, the dive operation itself. And today with Marcel and my big boss, Paul, we started this challenge long time ago. I will say a year ago, if not 2 years. And it's not easy, like Patrick and Karol said, because there's a lot of preparation, a lot of research, a lot of logistics. And by the time the event came, we were ready. Ready for what? That was the question mark. We had to wait for them to come. We had to wait for them to say what they wanted and find the right location, and the equipment, the team, and everything said it's not easy. Yes, it's a victory, and I'm very proud to be part of this because it's a dream come true, no? But to make this happen it's not easy. And being down there, and it's not only me. I'm proud to say I have a very
I never stop trying.
and my second coach. So thank you, and I hope to be back again and again. Thank you.
My name is Ronella Chinashu. I'm the Director of Tourism for Bonaire, and it's a pleasure to be present here again tonight. First of all, we are here to thank all of the partners that supported this great initiative, this historical event for Bonaire, but also for the world of freediving and diving in general. And secondly, of course, my gratitude and my words of how would you say that? Of amazingness, of respect, very deep respect for Karol and Patrick and the entire team. I think we really asked Body Dive to, I know they did it last year, but to put this on screen so that everybody can watch this. As soon as you watch this, I'm sure the chills, you just get the chills, and my heart started bouncing very fast. I told Mugi I could not be on the boat, definitely not. This is too nerve-wracking, and I'm sure you felt the same thing. It's amazing what these people do, and I know that it has a lot to do with the mentality, starting not only for the training, to train for such things, but it's the person that's inside you guys, the willingness, the positiveness that you bring across, that you put in what you do, is amazing and is a lesson that we all can learn from. So keep on doing what you do. We are very grateful that you chose Bonaire as the place to do it again this year. We are very grateful that we can showcase that Bonaire has the ideal conditions and the ideal infrastructure, professional teams, people with knowledge that can go to these depths with you and be part of this great effort. So tonight I just want to be here to extend our gratitude and to give you thanks, give all the partners thanks, Martine, Paul, Marcel, the entire Body Dive team, Michelle, Ingrid, and the entire Van der Valk family, and also Insel Air, Jürgen Lippenhoff, also a proud partner of this event. I heard it rains fishes. I know the government of Bonaire. My apologies, but the Commissioner of Tourism is here. He will be joining me just in a couple of moments on stage. Just to show you that we are with you. We are not under the water, but we've been watching carefully. We know what you have been doing, and we've learned a great deal about freediving, sitting behind our computers. But we are thankful to have you here, and we want to say thank you. And maybe we have you here next year again, and maybe see more record-breaking attempts on Bonaire, and continue having the stamina to continue doing such great things for the island, but also for the world in general. So I would like to, without further ado, I would like to call the Commissioner of Tourism, Mr. Anthony Nicolas, who's joining us tonight. The Commissioner will be presenting something that we thought to make this memorable, something that Karol and Patrick can keep, put it on the wall together with all their other awards and certificates and who knows what that they have on their walls. So on behalf of the island of Bonaire, all of the partners involved in this event, we would like to give you a token of appreciation on behalf of all of us present here tonight, and I'm sure the public, the team, and everybody who was involved in this great event.
Good evening. First of all, on behalf of the government of Bonaire and the people of Bonaire, I would like to congratulate.
In gratitude to Body Dive Resort for the great efforts in hosting the second edition of Body Dive Freediving Bonaire 2010, hosting World Freediver Champions. Where's my light? Karol Meyer and Patrick Musimu to attempt to break the world record in Tandem No Limit category. Kralendijk, May 28, 2010.
This was not in the program, but actually I would just like to skip in here for a moment, because on behalf of the freedivers, Patrick Musimu, Karol Meyer, also Cedric Bourgault and Mariska Hoymans and myself, and of course I cannot forget our daughter Maeva, we have a very small token of a large appreciation. It's actually more like an emotional token of appreciation. I have nothing to want, but I would like to offer you this little present as a sign of respect also for your team, for everything what you have done for us. You were a great team, a huge, great team, and I was really happy to work with you. And I think I can talk on behalf of Patrick and Karol, of course. And this is actually just a funny thing, and I think you're gonna understand why. Here you are.
Okay, we want to share with you the present. Paul, help me. Help me.
But you have to turn it on, alright?
We had this on the boat for the last couple of days. We had this present on the restaurant we went out for dinner, and we all love it. Wait. I want to put it here. Take a look. Are you guys ready? There's only once. Shake it, buddy.
Put the mic.